everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're going to be taking a look at a bunch of games here. 5 different games of various sorts. One solo, one is weird, well, they're all a little unusual, but they're not all bad. We're going to take a look at them one at a time. Here we go. BoxOff is really it's called the Solo Game of Rectangles, Travel Edition. It's not really as much of a game as it is a puzzle where you're removing pegs from a board in the shape of rectangles. Let me show you. In this game, you need to remove all the pegs from a board. You put them in random way, which gives you millions of combination. When removing pegs, you have to remove pegs that make a rectangle and have no other pegs in them. So these two next to each other make a small little rectangle. So I can remove both of them. I then can remove these two red ones here that are next to each other. Same thing. Now you'll see that these two reds make a rectangle and there's nothing inside them. So I can take those out. I can take these two blue out that are next to each other. These two yellow that are next to each other. Then these two green make a rectangle. Now I want to take out these yellows, but that's trickier. I'm going to have to open up a red somehow. And I think I could do it because I could take these two blues out here that are next to each other. Then these greens make a square that will come out. And now this red to that red comes out. So I would just pull that one out. And by the way, these are not that easy to pull out. And now I can get these two yellows out. And that's just how you continue to go. You're going to keep going until you either get them all out or until you are stuck. I think BoxOff is a really interesting game. It is one of those things where I don't take it nearly as serious as the people who made it. Like the rule book is like, when you have two rectangles and they cross each other, that's known as an entanglement. And here's a more complicated entanglement. And they talk about these strategy tips. And I'm going, okay, that's neat. I'm just trying to remove them. I look at it as a more complex peg game like you would get at Cracker Barrel. It's definitely more involved. I can't see past the opening pages. Like, I'll take these off. Even the one I showed you an example when I was done, I was like, ooh, I can take this off. And I kind of just play till I get to a point where I go, and now I can't do anything. But I don't know that I can see the grid far enough to be able to pull out the pegs. But it works. It's interesting. It definitely feels really unique. My only complaint is how hard those pegs can be to pull out. But other than that, I think it's a clever little game. Not a very, intriguing box cover, but for something to do in your solo time, I enjoyed this one. Would it be better as an app? Just something on the phone? Maybe, but I kind of like being able to see this stuff here in person with the pegboard. So I give this one a 7 out of 10. That's BoxOff. Do you want fries with that? Flying fries here from Plate. This is from Plate Easy. This is one of the lightest games I've ever seen in my life. And when I looked it up online to do it, I realized this is a remake of an old, basically, toy that McDonald's gave out well over 30 years ago. Does that make it bad? Let's take a look. You get a fry container with this bottom that kind of pushes into place and has two fries attached by strings. To those two fries, you add a bunch of fries, shuffle them around, and then each player just takes a fry and pulls it out. And one of them pulls up and makes all the fries go out. That person loses. That's the game. Oh my word, I love this. I love how it looks. It's dumb. It's not really a game. It is the same as those sharks where there's a bunch of teeth and you press down on them until the shark's mouth snaps shut. So what that means actually is flying fries is a great who goes first game starter. I love that about it. It's great to use in that regard. Other than that, I think most people are going to pass it by. But I love it. I want to own it. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. I played Flying Fry so many times this year. It's silly, it's goofy, but it's weird to me how those two fries have strings on. You mix the fries up, you really don't know which is which. Now, I make people, when they grab it, you got to pull it out in one swift action so that it really jerks the string if you grab it. But I'm amused by this one a lot. Like I said, best used as a start player, flying fresh. How many Taylor Swifts tall is a T-Rex? That's what this game is. Or how many Tic Tacs does an eyeball weigh? Let me show you. The box itself unfolds to become the scoreboard. And in the box is a bunch of cards that are going to be asking you how tall things are, how long they are, and how much they weigh. How long is Japan? How many Eiffel Towers long? How many Brooklyn Bridges long? How many American footballs long? Does a walrus? How many American footballs does a walrus weigh? How many green anacondas does a walrus weigh? How many LeBron James does a walrus weigh? How many Cleopatras tall is the St. Louis Gateway Arch? How many Statues of Liberty without the pedestal is the St. Louis Arch? So everybody will write their answer on boards and throw them in the middle. Then they'll take their token and put it on the one that they think is closest. You'll then reveal the correct answer, and you get 1 point for the answer that's closest. Doesn't matter whether it's over or under. And whoever guessed that one also gets a point. If it's yours and you put a token on it, you will get 3 points. And then you go again. You're going to always do 2 questions on the same card, and then you'll move to the next card. And there are lots of cards. From how many postage stamps long is a fruit bat's wingspan? How many baby carrots long is an oboe? You're not sure? The answer is 13 baby carrots. And the game even comes with a little piece of paper that's for crybabies, where if you want to know how long a Panama Canal is, 50 miles, how long is a school bus, 40 feet, etc. Anyway, you're going to keep doing that, and players are going to keep scoring off the cards, and eventually someone is going to win by getting the most points. Whoever has most points is the winner. You can play everyone as the card reader once or twice, and that's the game. Yeah, so that's basically the game. But you know what? It's a game that I like. It has a sort of a wits and wagers feel to it because these are things that you can't guess. You're like, okay, how many nuclear submarines long is the Sphinx? It's probably 2.3. But when you get it right, it's hilarious. Game-wise, you're guessing, then you're guessing on the one that's closest, like other trivia games in many ways. It's usually best, I think, to guess on your own because at 3 points, 0... Like if you see someone else, you're like, maybe they know better than me. But if you guess on your own and you're right, you get the 3 points. But this is kind of just a game you play. You're not playing it to see, you know, who exactly is going to be the grand champion. You're smarter than everybody else. But it's more the amusing, how many Tic Tacs is Taylor Swift tall? That sort of thing is funny to talk about. And there are a lot of cards in here and a lot of information. It's a nice little production from the op. I enjoyed this one, a 7 out of 10. Tacta is a new game from the op in which you are basically placing cards on top of other ones, sort of like dominoes, but a little bit different. Each player has their own deck of cards with various numbers in the middle of them. And on your turn, you're going to hold your deck like this, and you can play either card on the outside of the deck. And you must cover this is a starting card in the middle. So I could play this, for example. I could play this here or here. I could also play this on this corner like this. Then the next player is going to go, and they're going to cover it up, but they have to be able to do so. They can only cover up one card. So the grid is going to grow. Maybe I can play this one here to cover up that purple dot, or I could have also gone down here like this on this bottom card. And each player is going to do that. You have to be careful because the grid is going to grow. And at some point, you're not going to be able to play a card out. Like I can't play this one here because it covers up multiple cards. But I could play this one here. And then maybe going back to the first player, they will cover up a card like that. And it's just going to continue to grow. The grid's going to grow. Now, if you ever have a spot and you can't play either card in your hand legally, then you can just play a card next to the table and continue off that card. This will keep going until everyone's played all their cards. Then you're simply going to count the number of dots of your color that are visible, and whoever has the most points is the winner. This is a very lightweight game that I think could be sold in mass market stores, and it's pretty easy to teach people, but it offers some interesting choices. As you're placing cards down, you obviously want to put the cards in such a way that the more dots you put in such a position that other people can't cover them. Many times you're putting it down hoping the next person doesn't have the card to cover it up, which they may or may not. The grid is going to grow, especially if you play a multiplayer game. The game goes here to 6 or 7 players, and at that point, and you can buy more decks and mix them. They even sell little 2-packs of decks. The table is just covered with cards, but visually it's very appealing, and it's really, really easy to play. It's not a lot of complexity in how to play. There's not even a ton of strategy. You just take a card and try to put it in the best place you can get it. But there's something very satisfying about that. And I think people like the colors and stuff scattered across the table. So an enjoyable game. If you have people who don't want to put a lot of thought into games, this is worth checking out. I give it a 7 out of 10. Tacta. Shadow Ninjas. This is a game in which you are either going to be, it's a one versus all. One person is the guard dogs. Everyone else is going to be the Shadow Ninjas trying to eat koi fish. Here's how it plays. In this game, one person's playing the guard dogs. They are guarding the koi. And you can see there's a few koi fish on the board. The other players have a bunch of counters, and some of them are going to have a ninja on one side, like this ninja here, and the rest are just shadows. So they're going to put them down with the guard person not looking. And then on the player's turn, they roll 2 dice, and you can move each of two of your, or any actually, cats up to that many spaces. If at any point a guard dog sees one, you flip it. If it's a shadow, well, you fold the guard dog. But if it is a ninja, then that ninja will be removed from the game. If the guard dogs remove all the ninjas, they win. If a ninja manages to land up on top of one of the koi, they eat it, and game over. And that player only is the winner. Shadow Ninjas is a pretty simple game. The rolling of the dice kind of kills it, though. It really does. The idea of running around and trying to avoid the sight of the dogs doesn't matter. If one side rolls high and the other side rolls low, there's that. They're going to win. And on top of that, I don't think I love the fact that no one's allowed to look at any pieces. And so once the Shadow Cats start moving their pieces around, everyone forgets who's what. I saw a game where one Shadow Cat moved a Shadow Cat to koi, and they won for another player because everyone forgot where everything was. That's not really strategic. It's funny, but that mixed with the die roll, great dice, by the way, wonderful component quality there. But I just can't really recommend the game. It's just not good at all. It's just super lucky. It's a 4 out of 10 for me. I wanted to like it more, but it's just not one that I enjoy. Mentirosa here is the original Game of Deceit. I'm not quite sure that's what it is. I have 2 versions. This is the travel version, in which you can barely get everything into this bag, but you can. So this uses, basically, this company has these poker dice. They're casino-grade poker-style dice, but this is essentially a variant of Liar's Dice. Let me show you. In this game, each player has their own cup, or more like a tube in this way. And you're going to have these dice which have an ace, king, queen, jack, and then basically hearts and diamonds on them, or red and black dots. And you are going to, at the beginning of each round, roll these dice into your tube. No one else can see them but you. Then each player in turn order, and you get 1 free reroll, so if you don't like them, you can reroll them again. You are going to say how many of something you think is everywhere. So these were the 3 cups that are involved. This player might have 2 queens. They know there's 15 dice in the game, and they might say, I think that there is five queens out of 15 dice. Whew, that's pretty high. And this player has no queens, so they call them. So when it reveals, and lo and behold, there are 5 dice, this player gets a loser chip. You get 4 loser chips, you're eliminated from the game. You keep going till one person's eliminated. You can go higher. You can say, I think there's 2 queens. Next person can say 3 queens, 4 queens. You can go on a higher level. So if I say there's 3 jacks, you can say, well, there's 4 queens or 3 queens and then 3 kings. Eventually, someone's going to call someone else out. That's the base game. Now, if you want to play the game like the popular game Liar's Dice, when you're called and lose, you will lose a die. You'll keep playing, and there's fewer and fewer dice. And there's a few other things that you can play as you go through. You do have to remember the order because we have black, red, jack, queen, king, ace. These are easy to remember. You just have to remember that red and black are the next 2 lowest in there. And there's also some dirty things where ace, they call it dirty Mentirosa, where aces are wilds, like they are in most versions of Liar's Dice. And you can even play a faster game with more chips. The chips are not very good quality, but these cups with the holes in, I think, work really, really well. So there's good and bad about this. The good is I really like these tubes. I think they're fantastic. They're better than cups in Liar's Dice. You throw the dice in, you can look, you don't have to peek under your cup. That's fantastic. I love to use these tubes, I guess, for lack of better words, and other things. The problem is the dice aren't great because you can't remember, is red higher than black, black higher than red? Numbered dice would probably just be better. I know this gives that casino feeling, but then mixed with the really not good quality chips. And the chip variant of this, where when you mess up, you take a chip and then you eliminate it, is pretty terrible. The original game of Liar's Dice, which they have in the rules, is the way to play. You roll the dice. If you call someone out, then you lose a die. And so why get this over Liar's Dice? And that's the problem. There isn't any real strong reason. There's a lot of things about this I like, and I like the game, and I want to keep this version of it, sort of, again, for those tubes, but that's not enough for me to want to hang on to it longer than that. So Mentirosa, for me, is a 6.5. It's close. It's something I almost want to recommend, but it has a few issues, and I think you should just go out and buy a different version of Perudo or Liar's Dice. And there you go, folks. That's a bunch of smaller, weird, different games. The one I'm keeping is the Flying Fries. But you might like or dislike some of these. Let me know in the comments. Until next I know, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching 5 short game reviews here, or 6 short game reviews here on the Dice Tower. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you, and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.